we brought her up, we got to pause, and I'm going to talk about this bride for a minute. Okay? Mike, she's Puerto Rican. Okay? Right. She's Puerto Rican, and I'm going to pull something up while I'm talking as it relates to this. She's from New York, not New York City. I believe north of the city, but the suburbs. But she got elected down in the city, in the hood. Okay? So she's like these liberals, the rest of these liberals. You wouldn't live in the hood, you ain't been in the hood, you ain't done nothing in the hood. But you want to claim the hood. You want to say you're down. And you look around and you say, that's the easiest place for me to get elected. All I got to do is go in there and tell them what they want to hear. You're oppressed. You're a victim of systemic racism, blah, 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 blah. They get elected. This broad is a fraud. She's not from the hood. She can't identify with the hood. She can't identify with being black. She can't identify with what she claims she is. She claims to be a woman of color. You remember that term, people of color? That fake, false term they put out there? They fooling you black people with this term, people of color? Let me tell you. They only did that to make these Hispanics, non-blacks more palatable to you black people by saying people of color. I went over that in the previous video. So she's always in front of the camera and the microphone talking all this stuff about the people and power to the people, and she's always claiming to be a woman of color. I was looking something up. Let me tell you something. I'm pulling up some information here, and about Puerto Rico. Okay? Hold on, it's not one. Let me do this. Let me do this. Bear with me. Puerto Rico's demographics. Now, Puerto Rico's demographics.
According to World Population Review,
listen.
White, 65.93% other race, 16.72% black or African American, 11.65% two or more races, 5.29%.
Y'all hear that? Listen. I'm going to repeat that. She's Puerto Rican. She's from the suburbs, a very affluent area. She went to a nice school. There's nothing about her that identifies with the hood or the ghetto or the urban core. Puerto Ricans in Puerto Rico, most black people think, when they hear Puerto Rican, they think black. I've tried to explain this to people before. Puerto Ricans in Puerto Rico are 66% white, 16.72% black, other race, 11.65% black, okay? She is a Caucasian Puerto Rican. Hold on. She's not a black Puerto Rican, but she's claiming woman, person of color. She is a white Caucasian Puerto Rican. And let me tell you what she does. She does that funny business. She puts on that dark makeup to give herself a tint, to try and look like she is a non-white Puerto Rican. And it gives her the ability to perpetuate the lie that she is a person of color, a woman of color. And she runs with that. Well, I'm calling you out on this, you monkey. You're not a person of color. You are a Caucasian, white, Puerto Rican. And that's fine. That's perfectly fine. But it's not fine when that's what you are, but you're claiming to be something else because it's politically expedient. She's pimping y'all. She's pimping y'all, and y'all gonna vote for her again. And what is she doing, Mike? She's putting on political blackface, okay? They keep playing this political blackface because right now it's politically advantageous, politically expedient to play political blackface. That's what the left does. They want to use us for cover. and to push forward their agenda and to get elected. Why are you a white Caucasian Puerto Rican and everything that comes out of your mouth is about race and racism?
That's the game they playing on us, and we ain't putting it together.
Well, whenever you play this political blackface game, and you're not playing it for fun, you're playing it for keeps, you're playing it for a particular outcome, and that outcome is to get political power and to get economic power, but first you have to get the votes. So you play the blackface game to get the votes, and the party that plays the blackface game, that plays the black card, that plays the race card, is the Democrats. So that, in effect, is 100% voter suppression because you're deceiving me, you're tricking me, you're lying to me in order to get me to vote. There's no greater form of voter suppression than to lie to me to get me to show up the first Tuesday in November to do what you want me to do. That's voter suppression. And I've been over this, but Mike, you know I got to say stuff repeatedly and be repetitive because you don't know who watched what episode. So if you watched a different episode and you've heard me explain this, I don't want to sound like a broken record, but hey, somebody might just be watching this episode for the first time. So these things need to be explained because we're here, the Exodus Media Network is here to explain to people what's really going on and what they're not going to get elsewhere. They haven't heard the term political blackface used anywhere else. They haven't heard a political Ponzi scheme used anywhere else. They haven't heard these things. You got to come here to get that. You're not going to turn it on Fox News and see that boldly displayed. You're not going to turn it on Fox News and see that boldly displayed. You're not going to see on Fox News that coal equals jobs. We're proudly for the wall. We're proudly for the deportation of illegals. We're proudly for fossil fuels. And we're proudly standing firm against liberalism. We ain't hiding nothing here. And we're proud to be Frederick Douglass Republicans. And we're proud to have that there. It's the Bible. So listen, we're free over here. We're free. We're free. We're free.